Just when I was going to step away from Jada Toys versus Storm Arena, we got this reveal of the Jada Toys Street Fighter Alpha 3 Ryu today, and the community is very happy. But I will say a few things. The first thing I want to say is that was this a missed opportunity? Because they could have went with Third Strike. They could have progressed further down the line, or they could have went with Street Fighter 6, but instead they decided to storm the arena against Storm by choosing Street Fighter Alpha 3. You may think to yourself, perhaps Jada had already planned for Alpha 3 because of the interview that took place back in New York Comic Con of last year when June was pretty much saying they already have these things planned out in advance, okay? You could look at it that way, or you could look at it as a direct confrontation from Jada towards Storm Arena, letting them know, hey, we can do what you're doing, but probably better. Now, this figure is going to be coming out in 2026, and this is just the early prototype stages. You can see not even the gi is detailed, but from what I'm seeing so far, I really do enjoy the head sculpt a lot. I like the definition surrounding the nose. I like the detailing in the eyes. It really does look good, and I'm very excited to see what the final product is going to be because, as you know, this figure is coming out next year. So this gives Jada Toys plenty of time to receive back criticism and suggestions with this figure and with the whole Alpha line as a whole. And I think that's great for them to make the best product possible, especially going up against the Storm Arena Ryu that we know it is out now. We got a review of it here on the channel. Make sure you go watch that. Drop a comment if you want a chance to win the Ken Masters Storm Arena Alpha 3 release. We're doing a giveaway. We're doing a giveaway at the San Diego Comic-Con recap live stream. More information on that to come, but go check that review out. So far, though, with this Jada Toys Ryu, I'm really digging it, and I like it a lot. I do like the long strings here for the headband. I think that looks great. And I wonder if this figure is going to be able to do the Hadouken, but from what I'm seeing so far, I don't believe so. We have much more time to improve upon that, but right now, I don't think he'll be able to do that. And I also want to say, if you were to compare this figure right now to Storm Arena, it would be like comparing Dragon Stars to an SH Figuarts. That's pretty much like the comparison you're going to get. And a lot of people fresh out the gate will tell you like, hey, yeah, Jada Toys looks good. It's ugly. It needs improvement. But Storm Arena is blowing this figure out of the water. And I agree. That is true. However, I think by the time we get the final product of this Jada Toys Ryu, it's going to be something special. And just for Jada Toys in general, they're winning, okay? And they're winning on multiple levels in this field. Because just a mere fact, I'll be able to go to my local Walmart and Target and get this figure in hand is already a huge win in a lot of people's eyes. Because we're going to have that ability. We're going to be able to create those experiences, those moments. Those videos are going to blow up on YouTube of people doing the toy hunts and things like that. Like, that is the future for Jada. Jada probably is going to make more sales in the long run as well when it comes to Alpha 3 because it's going to be more accessible across all of the states. And I also want to say that this figure is probably going to come in at $30 to $35. It's not going to be like Storm Arena selling at $26, $30. Well, maybe $30, but Storm Arena is selling at $26. Some places you can get it for that. I think BBTS, you can still do that. And that's only going to be like a small window of that opportunity to get those figures at that price. So with that in mind, I guess Storm Arena will have that little edge against Jada. You know, not to nitpick, but that's pretty much where it's heading, to where these figures are probably going to cost $30 to $35, but we may be getting a lot more when compared to Storm Arena. So we got to look out for a lot of things. 2026 is going to be very exciting. Now, I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but Wave 1 is going to consist of 3 characters. I'm glad they're doing it like this. I would have hate for them to come out and shown off all of the figures like the whole roster. So it's like, okay, well, now we've got nothing to look forward to at each con because we know we're getting every figure. That's what Jada does. They release a whole roster. Which, to that note, let me also say Storm Arena is now in the hot seat because they have to finish the roster. Because if they don't, Jada Toys, they're going to hit that nitrous button and fly right past Storm Arena. And they're going to go down as the company that dethroned Storm Arena when it comes to Alpha 3. So it's very exciting stuff here. 3 reveals. I want to know, are they going to directly compete against Storm, beat for beat? Are we going to see Ken and Sagat by the end of Saturday? Or is it going to be unique characters? June said in the panel, there's a lot of Street Fighter competition right now, so the competition is great. Well, how do you capitalize on that? If I'm going up against Storm, I'm not going to release the same characters as them because that's like direct competition. But if I release other characters, maybe Rose, maybe Karen, maybe Cody. I mean, I know he's Final Fight, and so is Guy, but maybe there's that possibility of getting those type of characters in Wave 1 that is going to offset the releases of Storm Arena. That's how I'm thinking. I think that's the route they should take, but only time will tell because by the end of Saturday, we will know who their first wave is. If it's Ken and Sagat, I'm going to fall out of my chair. But if it's something new, something different, that is going to be an upper hand for Jada, and it's going to have Storm Arena collectors come over to Jada and get those figures to satisfy that need until Storm Arena releases their figures, and vice versa. It's going to work hand in hand together. Now, when it comes to the figure itself, I like it. It's like an American anime style figure. And I don't say that as in, I mean more so to say it's a anime inspired American artwork, just to clear all the yard there. Okay, it looks good. I like the eyes, I like the nose, I like the long strings on the headbands. I think it looks great, and the muscle structure is more beefy than what we got with Ultra Street Fighter 2, and I like it. I think it's going to be a nice figure. We have our toe hinge as well. He did say this was the updated body. This is the 2.0. What we got first was the 1.0. So here we are 3 years later, and it does look very similar to that of Storm Collectibles, but a lot of figures are starting to come out like that. If you look around and see all these new like 112 scale figures coming out, even like the Maximum Series Spider-Man kind of had similar elbows like this. So this style, this technique is something that's going to be more generalized. But Storm Arena and Storm Collectibles, I'd say they were the leaders in that field for that. Overall, very excited for this release. And I want to know, what do you all think? Are you excited? I know a lot of people so far have said this is ugly. When you compare it to Storm Arena, of course it is. We never had a true comparison until now. We've got it. Very excited, and I want to see some interviews and things like that. I want to see the figure in hand, and I'm just very excited for Jada, for the community. And we're going to be releasing a Storm Arena versus Jada 2026 video the end of the weekend. Be looking out for that. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.